guys, I'm going to shoot a video today on tire dressings, the stuff I use, how I apply it, and why I use them. Believe it or not, I've gotten hundreds of emails since I started my channel 11 months ago about tire dressings, and I just never threw a video together, and I'm like, you know what, let me just do it this morning. I just finished washing my car a few hours ago, and I'm just going to discuss a little bit about tire dressings. Now, there are an abundance of tire dressing solutions on the market. A lot of them are junk, and I just want to tell you guys to stay away from anything that is a silicone thick base dressing for multiple reasons. We can't use that in the body shop, and what happens is when you use those thick dressings, they sling onto the side of the car, and on a white, silver, or light colored car, a lot of the silicone dressings will destroy the clear coat, and you get brown and yellow spots that you'll have to aggressively compound out or even color sand. So I just don't like them. All the automatic car wash shops around here, they sling all that crap on the tires after you go get an automatic car wash. They apply it with a paintbrush, they stick it in a gallon, and then they slop it all over the tire. They don't wipe it. As soon as you take off, it's all over the side of your car, and it's just an absolute nightmare. The silicone dressings also attract more dirt. So as you drive and as you have a thicker dressing, what's going to happen is all of the dressing is going to sit inside all the little recesses in the sidewall of the tire, inside the mold and everything, of all these little details of the writing and the logos and all of that good stuff. So what happens is, as you drive, all of the dirt is going to just embed itself in there. It's going to be very, very difficult to clean that, even with a tire and rubber cleaner with a brush. You're probably going to have to use a solvent. I just don't like them. The way to go is all of these new water-based dressings that I got here. So the G6 Hypercoat, I talked about this from my very first detail video. I've been using this for a long time, and I'm not a big fan of tire dressings. Like, I don't use it like 5 times a week. This 16-ounce bottle I've had for about a year. So you could see I still have about 25% left. I just don't use a lot of it. You don't need a lot of it. So the G6 Hypercoat, this is a great satin finish. I really, really like this. This still is my go-to solution. Now, the VRP is going to give you what I feel a similar effect on the tires, like a satin finish. It's not going to give you a high gloss. This is a little bit thicker. This goes on almost like a liquid wax. And this does last a little bit longer than the G6. But to be honest with you, I don't really care about it lasting because I wash my car so often and it rains a lot. So I don't really want something to stay on the tire repetitively that might make me lazy to not clean my tires on my next wash. So I think the VRP is good for like an off-road truck or a lifted Jeep or something like that, where you have a lot of detail into the knobs of the tire. You could just grab a nice little detail brush and get some of this product on there and then kind of go in all around the tire and do a nice job with that. Whereas the thinner viscous coatings are going to be a little bit harder, a little bit messier. Now, Greg Masterson sent this to me a while ago. This is his Spray Shine tire and trim protectant. And to be honest with you, when I looked at it side by side, I thought it was going to be identical to the G6, but boy was I wrong. This stuff, out of everything here, and from multiple tests of power washing my car and in the rain, this one here lasts the longest, and this one gives about a 30% higher sheen than these two products here. So, I mean, this stuff is so affordable. You can pick this stuff up 14 to 15 bucks a bottle. It'll last you a long time, unless you have a lot of cars, unless you're in a mobile detail and you're using it every day. But if you want satin and you want something that's easy to apply, G6 Hypercoat. You have a tire that has a sidewall with a lot more detail and you want to kind of get into all the little nooks and crannies and use a detail brush, Chemical Guys VRP. This stuff is very, very good. If you want the ease of application, the longer lasting as far as in the rain, in between your washes, and something that's going to probably give you about a 30% gloss intensity above these other two products, the Masterson's Spray Shine. Now, Greg also has another product. I don't even want to know what that's going to do, but to be honest with you, I'm so impressed with this one here that I would say this is one of the ones that you should have in your detailing bin. You should probably pick up all 3 of these. It's relatively affordable, depending on what you want for that particular moment. If you want just a maintenance shine, I use a G6. If you're going to go to a car show, do the Masterson's spray shine. This stuff is freaking awesome. So what I got here, pull the camera back, I got my GT350 already cleaned, wheels are detailed, all of that good stuff. Tires are stripped, as you guys can see. So I'm going to do a quick demo of each product, and I'm going to show you, what they look like on my tire. The way I apply tire dressings, I use these cheap microfiber foam pads. I've been doing it for over 20 years. They just seem to work the best. I don't like those foam applicators. They're just a lot of bells and whistles, and they tend to deteriorate. They fall apart from the holder, and they just suck. I just don't like them. So I throw on a black nitrile glove, spray the product or pour the product on here. I go like this to really embed it into the core of the pad, and then you just go around the tire easily, nice and controllable, no issues whatsoever. So let me get the, I'm going to break the tire up into two halves, and then we're going to do the other product on the rear tire, and I'm going to show you guys, the differences between it all. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So we got the Chemical Guys G6 on this part of the tire, and I have the Masterson's Spray Shine. Now, the one thing I noticed about the Spray Shine, it's much thinner, and the application requires a little bit more patience to kind of get it in there and let it adhere to the tire with a uniform, consistent finish. It's just much thinner. It pretty much goes on like the old school Armor All products. Not a bad thing, but it works freaking really good. Okay, so can't really tell right now. We're going to let that dry for a little bit. As it dries, this is going to knock down to a satin finish. This is going to stay gloss as applied, and I'm going to show you guys that, and then I'm going to move over to the other tire on the back of the car. We're going to get the VRP. So let me just show you how I apply the VRP. Alright guys, so we're on the rear tire. So you just take the VRP, you shake it up, you put a little bit on the foam microfiber wax applicator, and you kind of just get it in there. It definitely advise you wear gloves. I ran out of gloves. So you want to load your pad up, similar to the way you're going to load up your pad when you do any kind of paint correcting. So you're just going to go and easily just rub it in. Now, something I want to talk about, I'm going to get the camera in because this is very, very important, and nobody's really talking about this. Okay, here we go. So like I was saying in the beginning of the video, you go to a detail shop, they slop on all the crap with a brush, the thick, nasty silicone. And if you drive aggressively, you drive a performance car, if you get any kind of tire dressing on the outer shoulder blocks of the tires, the chances of you driving the car aggressively and getting into an accident or totally wrecking your car because of this is increased by 100%. Because it happened to me back in 1994. My buddy's detail shop slopped on the silicone tire dressing. It was on a Friday night. I'll never forget this. We were going down to New York City, and I'm taking a turn on the exit ramp a little bit too far, a little bit too fast, and my car broke loose in the back, hit the divider, went onto the median, and I ended up on the other side of the highway. And I was only doing about 60 in a 30, okay? I was driving a little bit more aggressively. So ever since that incident back in 94, I am very, very careful with tire dressing. If you're gonna go to the track, do not put tire dressing on your car. Leave it raw. And another thing, a lot of guys, being that their cars may not be lowered and they got the fender well gap, they wanna dress up this outer area here, but that's totally a no-no. You wanna look at the tire carefully. Let me get the camera closer. Let's see if we can pick that up. Okay, so there's gonna be a mold line right here, and that's gonna be your safe zone, is this line right here. As soon as you cross over into here, now you're crossing into what I call the danger zone, especially on a high performance, ultra high performance summer tire on a performance car. These tires are hard as a rock. As soon as you throw the tire dressing on here, go take a turn, you're gonna freaking end up in a ditch or wrecking your car. So that's just something I wanted to just mention to you guys, because a lot of guys are not talking about that. As far as the detail guys, I mean, I'm telling you from a performance minded individual that plays with cars his whole life, you want to make sure you don't get the tire dressing here. So don't go crazy trying to make it look good and this and that. But like I said, if you're going to go to a show, fine. You could apply your tire dressing, but pay attention and don't drive the car aggressively. Believe it or not, sometimes you won't even remember that you did it, and you'll regret it when it happens. So, food for thought. So that's the VRP. We're just going to get a little bit more on there. And just using the wax pad, it just makes the application so easy to go around. And you could get a nice consistent edge, like I was trying to tell you, between the safe zone and the danger zone. So with the VRP, being that it's thicker, you're going to have to apply more pressure, and you're going to have to go over the tire quite a few more times to get a nice, even, consistent coat. So I'm going to turn the camera back on in a little bit. I'm going to show you guys after about an hour and a half elapsed time how all three of these look, and I'll give you my final thoughts on all of them. Alright guys, we're back. It's been about 2 hours since I applied all the tire dressings to the driver's side of my car, and I think in the camera you could clearly see the difference between the ones I'm telling you about here. This is the G6 Chemical Guys Hyper Coat. Nice satin uniform finish, super easy to apply. It doesn't last as long, but for me it doesn't really matter, because in between washes I just throw a quick application and it's good to go. Over here you could see the shine. This is the Masterson's Spray Shine Tire and Trim Protectant, and I'll get in closer for you guys. Okay, you could see the gloss intensity of this product, and there's the G6 Hyper Coat. So you could clearly see the difference between the two, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. G6, Masterson's. So the only thing about the Masterson's, like I was telling you while I was applying it, it's very thin. It doesn't apply as easy as the G6 or the VRP. There's just something that's in it that seems to feel very repellent as you apply it to the rubber, but as you work it in with the wax pad, it gives an outstanding high gloss shine that lasts through car wash if you don't want to wash your tires, and it also lasts if you go through rain, when it rains. Alright guys, so here's the VRP, and same kind of finish that the G6 Hyper Coat gives. You can see here, it's just a very nice satin, clean, uniform finish. It's not too greasy. It's not going to sling on your tire, on your paint. It's not going to turn your tires brown. I really like these two products, the G6 and the VRP. The VRP gives a little, I would say maybe 5% more gloss intensity than the G6. It must just because it's thicker, so there must be something in it, a little bit more solids in the solution, whereas the G6 is a little bit thinner out, you know, just for a different application process. But another thing too, you could see I got the dressing all within the safe line of the tires. I didn't go into what I call the danger zone, which is the rounded side, edge shoulder blocks of the tires. So that's food for thought, guys. You want to make sure you apply your tire dressing properly, patiently. Don't slop it all over here, because if you drive your car aggressively, no matter what kind of performance car you have, you can lose control pretty easily and end up in a ditch. So those are the tire dressings that I've been using for quite a while, and I don't think you could go wrong with any of these products here, depending if you want the thicker one or the thinner one. And if you want that high gloss shine that's going to last a little bit longer, and that's just what you prefer, this is pretty much the one that I suggest. There are hundreds of tire dressings on the market. A lot of them are junk, but these are the ones that I found that seem to work really, really well. They're consistent, they're affordable, easily attainable on Amazon, and that's it. And as far as application goes, this is what I use. No fancy ergonomically shaped foam or any of that crap, because like I said, the foam deteriorates. It delaminates from these dressings, ruining the adhesive bond between the backing and the holder. So just throw on a nitrile glove, but this stuff is water-based, so it doesn't really matter. You can wash this off really quick, or just use a one of those garage hand wipes that I use. So see you guys soon. autofanatic@yahoo.com. Any questions, comments, posted below. Let me know what stuff you guys are using, and let me know if you guys have any of these three products in your detailing bin and how you like them so far. See you soon.